Hello everyone, it's the Commissioner, James L. Seagraves here, joined this week by a special guest host, none other than my father and owner of the Squadrels, Neil Seagraves. How you doing, Neil?
Formerly Ransom Ragmuffins, but now the Squadrels because I look into the future and I can predict 75% of stuff that happens in the world. That being said...
Yeah, well, formerly Ransom Ragamuffins, who were a playoff team last year, despite only winning two wins. Speaking of 2 wins,
right?
Currently 2-2 over there.
I'm a stretch runner, man.
Dad, I'm going to ask you something. There is a very frightening, yet awesome, depending on who you are, correlation here. I'm not much of a drinker. Are you much of a drinker?
No more. I
no.
Used to be.
Well, let me tell you something. It may pay to be involved in alcohol, as you will find out when we break down this week's top 10. Something to do with beer, something to do with alcohol. We'll find out as we get it going.
Brothers and their babies letting down their hair. As long as we're together, it don't matter where. Ain't got a lot of money, but we just don't care. Knowing that the fun is in the getting there. Aztec long legs, paycheck spread. Oh, it's a B-double-E-double-R-U.
All right, so we'll find out in a few minutes what that title song had to do with what we're talking about in the top 10 here. But first, let me just break a couple things down for you because we usually shoot these live, one continuous take. If you notice, we're in Studio B today, where we have not been since the first preseason special.
Shepard Smith's studio on Fox News, Studio B.
I don't know. I don't watch Fox News, but I hear you're a big fan.
Damn straight, George.
So, a couple things. My wife had to go to Adrian to visit her mother, who's in the hospital, who had to have some pretty serious surgery done today.
Hope she's doing fine.
Yeah, apparently
she's an angel.
So yes, that is true. So
never marry a girl named Angel, though. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm not. I married a woman named Cassandra, actually, so we're all right. But that's why we're down here, because we had to keep the kids somewhat close. So periodically, you may see a child or a demon running through here.
And my lovely girlfriend's out there babysitting.
Yes, that's true.
Right
so there may be more than one special guest here today. So we're going to start off talking about the week that was here. Week 4 was this week. There were 2 undefeated teams going into this week. How they fared, we'll find out here in a minute. But first, I want to talk about a historic week in the Michigan Ultimate Survivor League. Do you know why it was historic? Have you been on the site today, in fact?
I've been on the site now 4 times.
4 times today?
I love the site.
Frequent visitor. Now, normally I put my bookends article up first thing in the morning, but you know what? I'm feeling maybe it's a little bit of a spoiler before the podcast. So now I'm leaving the bookends to come as a companion piece to the podcast. But I've actually written several articles today because I've been up since 6 o'clock. The historic thing for the MUSL League, ATM machine again, redundancy, is that we had, prior to this weekend, we've only had 2 teams score over 100 points. And that would be 104 points set by, I believe, the KZU Crazies last year. And then, of course, the Texas Taco Benders with their dominating 118-point performance in the playoffs last year, which is the all-time record.
What happened to them this year? I mean, they did beat me, but
yeah, they did beat you. I would be careful there.
I threw Jeff's in there, man.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Jeff.
Oh boy, here we go. We got a first special guest. Looks like. What's up, bud? We got to keep this short. So anyway, historic week because not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. But 5 teams this week scored over 100 points.
Wow.
Which is insanity.
It wasn't me either.
It was not you, nor was it me, and I will tell you more on my team here in a little bit. The New Orleans Rock Chucks, Julie's Gems, The Gambler, and finally, Magic Mike Play, who of course had the best record last year and has just been awful this year, all scoring over 100 points. Now, the 5th team to score over 100 points was this week. All of them scored 100 points this week, yes. Now you see me, now you don't. Ryan Frazier's team, who won his division.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Won his conference last year. He actually set an all-time regular season record last night with 114 points.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I believe... I don't know what this kid's doing. There's a... you gotta get off the stage here, buddy. Yeah. He actually beat a team who scored, I believe, 79 points. That's a real kick in the balls, if you will. Don't repeat that. All right, so yeah, congratulations to Ryan Frazier. Second all-time highest score. First all-time highest score.
Did he shoot his wad to get it, though?
Not really.
He didn't?
No, he shoots a lot of wads.
I know he shoots a lot of
but
wads.
he did not shoot that particular one. Although I will say that most of these teams that scored over 100 points, I guess you could define this as some wad shooting, would be Drew Brees was on 4 of those 5 teams. That's pretty significant wattage. Will you please leave the room? Okay, so anyway, we're drinking LaCroix today. We're out of Perrier.
Cheater Perrier,
yes.
I got a deal on it. So if you want a deal on it, come visit me. $1.99 a case.
Let's talk about the muscle game of the week last week, which was the number 4 Dublin Drunks, owned by...
Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
Jeff Arbogast.
Jeff Arbogast, he was 3-0. He was playing the number 5 Broskies, owned by... Not in your notes. That'd be Josh Harris, which is Ben, Sarah, and Matt's cousin, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A Miller?
Not a Miller, it's a Harris.
Oh,
that's the name, Josh Harris. So, yeah, big, huge, epic battle for first place in the conference. Dublin versus the Broskies. Broskies brought the heat, wattage, if you will, with Peyton Manning and A.J. Green.
Have you ever seen anything like Peyton Manning? It's unbelievable what we're seeing. You're not going to see this again, probably ever, what Peyton Manning's bringing to the NFL.
I will agree. Unfortunately,
I get chills talking about it.
I drafted him the year he didn't play a single game in a fantasy league. And, yeah, that was sickening. So, anyway.
I'm kidding. Is there
I get to see him.
I'm in the middle of a podcast.
my tooth?
Out of your tooth. No. Go ahead and grab the Sally, get it. Hurry up.
As the great W.C. Phil said, get away, kid, you're bugging me.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the Dublin Drunks threw out Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning's replacement, in Indianapolis, and also Adrian Peterson. So he used some big players too, but he knew he needed to bring his A game because Josh was going to bring his A game. Unfortunately for Josh, his A game only netted him 46 points, whereas the Dublin Drunks steamrolled him, showing that Richard doesn't know what he's talking about, proving that he is indeed worthy of that number 4 spot, potentially the number 1 spot, as he crushed him 82-46. So, good job. Jordan Cameron also on Dublin's team with 10 points. Jordan Cameron's phenomenal. What is up with the Browns?
I lost some money on him, them with a bet, because they threw everybody away, and now they're winning.
Yep. Well, that's why you don't gamble, kids. Although everyone who's on watch this podcast gambled to get in this. So, yeah, Dublin pulls away, and huge game. We'll talk about them in the biggest loser section here in a minute. But, yeah, so great job by Jeff Arbogast.
Jeff, I harassed you, but I love you like a son. I'm proud of you.
Yes, very nice, Jeff. And the other thing that we want to talk about is tis a season to be giving, apparently. This is my other segment here. Not really a segment, but it's a little short we'll do here. We had 3 significant presents given away this week. I don't know if you knew this or not. You don't know who this guy is, but Wayne Williams, who...
Is that serial killer?
No, he's not a serial killer.
He will be a serial killer.
He's Wayne Williams. There's no middle name.
Okay.
Wayne Williams got married over the weekend, and Craig Monahan was so generous,
Ham and egger, I love it.
He gave Wayne Williams a wedding present of a 55-54 defeat. Wow. So that was the Riverside Raging Rancors, who were one of the best teams in the league. Not anymore, unfortunately, although they may still crack the top 10 because they've scored so many points. Also, the other thing I want to talk about, 2 birthdays over the weekend, one of which was actually today, technically. Sarah Miller. Oh, Sarah Miller, I know.
Sweet Sarah.
You have a massive erection right now, undoubtedly.
No, she's like a daughter. Come on,
okay,
man.
Well, whatever. She actually tied her game, so...
Sarah.
And speaking of ties, yeah, more on the infamous untying of the of last week later. And also, Ryan Knight, who you don't know, but I'm sure you make fun of him. He's one of my co-workers at Sprint.
Probably likes Knight's Best.
He may like Knight's Best, the male stripper film, potentially. He was the owner of Brandon Roy's Knees, who was very upset because I kept making fun of him. Brandon Roy's Knees scored 88 points on Ryan Knight's birthday, no less. So... yes, a lot of birthday gifts given at the hands of other teams. So, there you go. So, yeah, a couple things there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the bookend section here. This is where we break down, I know you watch these podcasts, where we break down the top 10, which is what everyone cares about, and also the bottom 10, which is where you don't want to be, but whatever, okay?
I'm in there this week.
Where, in the bottom 10?
Yeah.
No, you're not in the bottom 10. So, we're going to start with the top 10. A lot of newcomers to the top 10. First and foremost, number 10. The Potterville Pussycats. Okay? They are 3-1. They've scored 236 points.
Is that Jackie's team?
That is Dave. Dave from Fantasy Football fame. I don't know his real last name, but Colin's friend.
Stripper Dave.
Stripper Dave.
Yeah, Stripper Dave, yeah.
I don't know what that means. But, yeah, they found themselves quietly in the top 10 and actually on top of the Jeff Spicoli Conference, so he leads this conference right now. Huge game coming up this week as he plays Now You See Me, Now You Don't for first place in that division and undoubtedly to move up further in the top 10. So great job there. Riverside Raging Rancors, Craig Monahan's team, who has been in the top 10 ever since this league started because he scored so many points. Unfortunately, he gave that wedding gift to Wayne Williams last week, so he's actually playing you this week, by the way. So, that's all I'm saying. It's a conference game.
Bring your best players, dude.
Yes.
I've seen some visions that it's not going to be good for you. Trust me.
Double besting. Number 8, the Tallywhackers. They find themselves back in the top 10 after they were undefeated 2 weeks ago. They lost quite embarrassing fashion. Now they are now in the top 10, number 8. Number 7, and this is the one that caused a little bit of controversy, but it shouldn't. By the way, yeah, Riverside Raging Rancors are 2-2, so yeah, but they scored a lot of points. Speaking of 2-2, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, coming out of nowhere, thanks in part to that 114-point performance, have vaulted them into the top 10 at number 7 because they've scored 286 points. Now, if you notice, top 10, number 10 was Potterville, who leads that conference. Number 7 is Now You See Me, Now You Don't, who's in second place in that conference. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but the formula doesn't lie. He scored 50 more points than Potterville Pussycats. That's why he has a higher rating. So, way to go, Frazier, that is. At Ryan Frazier 40 if you follow him on Twitter. Number 6, the ever so quiet and lovable Wrecker Rod has quietly snuck up to the number 6 spot. He was number 9 last week. And it was a heartbreaking defeat for Frazier's other team because Darren Sproles went off on him last night. Did you watch that game last night?
Incredible.
Yeah, the Saints are pretty awesome. What's his name's back? I think that has to do with it. What's his name? Sean Pate.
I just don't think they can see the guy. He's so short.
Yeah, did you see that footage? We had to look over the offensive line? That was pretty cool. Okay, so that brings us to the top 5. This is where we get serious here. Number 5. And I feel stupid even saying this team name, but Derp.
Derp?
Derp is the team name. 3-1, 261 points. Have also been very quiet. They've dropped 66 points or more in 3 out of the 4 games that they've played, so they're kind of just slowly climbing up. Now they're a legitimate force to be reckoned with, and they also are top of the Kirk Lazarus Conference, which is very competitive. There are 5 teams that are 3-1 in that conference. Of course, they will have to battle it out soon, so they won't all be 3-1 for long. But speaking of incredible matchups, this week Dirk plays off against the Double Blumpkins, also 3-1 for what is going to be an enormous game for the top of the Kirk Lazarus Conference there. Number 4, one of your favorites, old Kenny Rogers himself, the Gambler.
Oh,
I don't know where they came from either.
Know when to fold.
This is like my brother's graduation speech that the lady started doing. It was equally as awkward too, by the way. You remember that? Yeah, she started singing the whole damn song. They scored over 100 points this week en route to an embarrassing crushing of Jen's Mix. I guess he likes to beat women. He gets the Ike Turner Award.
That's why we're giving the Charles Rogers Award.
And the scary fact here is that, is this a Charles? Oh.
That is a Charles Rogers football.
Charles Rogers football.
Charles Rogers football.
I don't know how that ended up in your hands.
Well,
I have several guesses.
Give it away.
We're having a contest. Who wants a Charles Rogers football? Stay tuned.
We'll get to that after a while.
But here's a scary thought. The Gambler, who's 3-1, very quietly snuck up to the number 4 spot. They play the winless Cougar Hunters this week. So
they give them Cougar Hunters.
Yeah, Cougar Hunters, Gambler could be pushing for the number 1 spot overall. All right, number 3. They were number 1 2 weeks ago. The New Orleans Rock Chucks. They had a 37-point performance in week 3, which free fell them all the way down to number 8, I believe. Come back, scoring over 80 points, actually over 100 points this week. And now they're in the top 3. They faced the Springfield Isotopes this week, so it'll be a pretty good game. Springfield doesn't really have a chance in taking the division lead this week, but they're still 2-2, so it'll help them big time. And then we get to the top 2, and this is if you've been on the site, you saw the infamous picture that I made. which will also be the lead-in graphic for this week's podcast, too. You have a major division here of who should be number one. Of course, it's a formula, okay? You have the undefeated Dublin Drunks, 4-0, the only undefeated team left. Then you also have, I can't even flip this table over if I wanted to. It's another reason we're in Studio B today. The TDs and Beer, who...
I love that name. I just love that name.
TDs and Beer, you know what? We're going to cut to the chat. It was Luke Miller's team. We're going to skip over the number 2. We're going to go right to the number 1 so you can figure it out. Drum roll. We do a drum roll here. Here we go. The number 1 team in the nation after our nationwide vote, a computer formula, and a bunch of other crap is TDs and Beer.
Oh.
They have done it. They become the first team in MUSL history
I salute you.
to be ranked number 54 at one point in their career.
God.
Technically number 40, I guess, last year. Be voted worst in the league and now be number 1. Hats off to you. I don't have a hat.
And Beer.
I'll drink some LaCroix in your honor. TDs and Beer, 3-1, 307 points so far this year.
Wow.
Now, you talk about blowing your wad, though. This dude,
He sent everybody.
he's sent the whole troops and then some. He's even sending those
Charlie
monkeys in for the
Batch next week,
landmines.
probably.
He may have to start Charlie Batch next week, although he has a bye. Yeah, TDs and Beer, what can I say? He's on pace. If you noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we now have the Wilt Chamberlain Award, which was awarded last week for... We gave away all the prizes officially last week for conference winners and most points. Kazoo Crazies scored the Wilt Chamberlain Award for the most scores in a single season, of course. The TDs and Beer are on pace to destroy that record, but they're out of players. They've used pretty much everyone and some brothers at that point. So, of course, that means that number 2 is the Dublin Drunks, who are 4-0. Not a bad consolation prize. He's going to be facing the old tire slinger himself, Dan Walter, next week. I don't know, man. It is what it is. Dublin Drunks 4-0. Don't be sad, Jeff, because you don't really want to be in the top. And you know why?
Yeah, I know why.
Why? You're on top a lot, I hear.
That's why I like it. But usually, sometimes I'm on the bottom, which I think I am this week.
So, yeah, ever since this top 10 podcast has started, the number 1 team has lost. So, TDs and Beer, I don't know who you have left to play, but hopefully...
I'll tell you what, I got a feeling they're going to keep winning. I don't know why.
Possibly. This week they play the Somerset Slammers, who were in the bottom of the division, but they have won 2 games in a row, and it actually... are in second place in that conference. That's a huge game, too. We have several huge games coming up. But now on to the bottom 10. This is where you do not want to be.
Sure.
You really think you're going to find yourself there? Come on, you're 2-2,
I don't
dude.
think so.
No, you're 2-2. You can't be
I
there.
didn't score many points left.
Number 45, he's moved up slightly. The old saucy dog moved up slightly, so he's not as bad as he used to be. Number 46, after that horrible defeat at the hands of Darren Sproles, not Aaron Sproles. Aaron Sproles, maybe his brother, maybe Luke will play him next week. Darren Sproles, finger licking good, Fraser's other team, also in the bottom 10 here. So I was making sure I had 10 teams there. Number 47, relative of ours, old Aaron Seagraves, does not share the same Seagraves blood in terms of picking winners, apparently. The Ypsilanti Pipsqueaks, 47th. Not a great performance there. Number 48 is Jen's Mix. Won't even talk much about her.
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel bad making fun of girls. I told that one girl her team sucked.
We take no prisoners here.
I know. I told Julie her team sucked.
Is that one of our gens?
What?
Is that
Yeah.
our gen?
It's one of our gens. It's not Aaron's wife, though.
Oh, okay.
Number 49, the High Steppers. Yeah, I mean, you've kind of fallen in there. This is your first time being there, I believe. I don't know. Number 50. This is a big one. That aforementioned Brandon Roy's knees, who were 54, and then they were 53, and they may have been 52, maybe. They are now number 50, so they are slowly making their way up. So yes, Ryan Knight, you can officially say there are 4 teams worse than you now. So hey, you're making your way up. Richard said after 52 weeks he might be number 1, and he's inching his way up there, you know?
There's always hope.
There's always hope. Number 51, the California Coyotes, Ben Richmond's team. I don't know who he is, but he's been pretty bad so far this year, unfortunately. Number 52, the Center Rat, also consistently in the bottom 10. I don't believe this dude's won a game yet. I don't know who you are either, but
Center
I
Rat.
know.
I like it.
You're really dwelling on some old cheese there, it seems. Number 53. This one brings me great pleasure. The Colorado Mountain Oysters, 53rd in the nation. Do you know who that is?
I think, but I'm not
Who?
Ryan's other team?
No, Ryan's other team's finger looking good, who's number 50 or 46. The Colorado Mountain Oysters is none other than Denny Tyson.
Oh my God!
Denny Tyson's team, who
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me,
who
Smalls.
at first glance had tied me
He
last
sucks
week.
in the other league.
Yeah, he
You
does.
just suck, period, dude. Damn, you suck.
He sucked so bad he was given a tie, and then ultimately that tie was ripped away from him by my fantasy league because Denard Robinson is not a quarterback, so they took a point away from the Seattle defense, which resulted in myself winning.
Oh.
There was controversy, big time. There was people protesting out on the front lawn.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But-
I thought it was a government shutdown or something.
The government shutdown, yeah. Who knows what's going to
Affect us
happen?
today, though.
Who knows? Yeah, we keep working through shutdowns and
We
everything.
have to keep working no matter what.
Absolutely. And then number 54, I don't really know what to say other than apparently your first name's Cougar, which is pretty sweet. The Cougar Hunters, worst team in the league now.
Jody and Jeremy.
Jody and Jeremy, maybe, yeah. They didn't submit a lineup this week, and it hurt them bad. The randomizer was not kind to them at all. Brian Hoyer actually turned out okay.
Yeah.
But the Jackie Battle, Chris Johnson combination did not work out so well. But I guess that's why you start a lineup, Cougar. That's all I'm saying.
He didn't put a lineup in?
He was the only person not to put a lineup in. And Frazier, flipped out. Frazier flipped out on him. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to go to... What do you got to say? I got to pull up another document here. Go ahead and fill some time here. Do what
Here's what I'm
do
going
what
to do.
Richard's unable to do.
This week, I brought good old Charles Rogers out of the vault. We used to give this ball to the worst team in our other league. What I'm going to do this week is for the team that scores the least points this week, I'm going to award the Charles Rogers football.
Oh!
Yes, Charles Rogers. Draft date 2003. Draft team Detroit. Born 5/23/1981. College Michigan State. That says it all right there.
Oh. Le'Veon Bell's awesome.
You know, what can I say? The lowest points this week, I'm going to award this ball to him.
You heard it here first,
Treasure
folks.
it forever.
Now, if some of these people live far away, you might have to pay some shipping for that.
I'll ship it priority to him. On
Oh,
me.
priority
On
shipping.
me.
So yes, you do not want this in your house. That's all I'm saying. What do you got there? Yeah, there's a random child sitting here.
I love my Lions. I love my Lions.
So another section that I had told Richard to prepare for, but of course he is not here, is what we were going to start doing every week called Winners and Losers. I was going to have Richard prepare his winners and losers. Obviously he's not here, so we're going to have to just kind of share this one here, okay? So first of all, let's talk the winners of week 4. Who do you think number 1 would be?
Of week 4 coming up, right?
No, this wasn't week 4.
Oh,
the
it
last
was?
one,
I
yeah.
thought week 4 is coming up.
Speaking of beer, no. Well, let's look right here. The Dublin Drunks. We'll talk. We'll just share. I'll share my tablet with you here. Dublin Drunks. They go 4-0. Send a message to the rest of the conference and the rest of the league that they will not be taken lightly. Why they're the biggest winner is because they're 4-0. The next best team in their conference is 2-1-1. So they're basically a full 1.5 games up on them and 2 games up on everyone else. Ultimately, the 3 games up on the Broskis because of the tiebreaker. You may be a big loser. Now you see me, now you don't. Obviously a big winner. Why is he a big winner? Have you been paying attention to this conference?
Because he's a big winner, man. I mean,
What did he do this week?
he won.
We've been talking about it. He set a record of 114 points.
114 points. I
Ah.
don't think I'll ever be matched.
It might be. But not anytime soon, probably, because everyone used Drew Brees. What are you doing? Also, 2 other winners. We have Brandon Roy's Knees and Julie's Gems. Again, Julie's Gems, I really do apologize to you, because I literally said, I watched it back this morning, Julie, I don't know who you are, but your team sucks. And
I like
apparently,
the gems. though.
apparently you took it to heart, because you
That's right,
now
Joey.
have
You
found
show
yourself
him your gems.
in a competitive edge race for the lead of that conference. We're scoring over 100 points. You're now 2-2. You are in the middle. You're nowhere near the bottom 10 anymore. So great job there. And of course, Brandon Roy's Knees. Ryan Knight gets the birthday gift. ask for some love on some podcasts. I'll give you some love for now. I mean, why not? Scored 88 points. Great job.
That's a great job you did. 88 points, nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at all. And luckily for you, you won, unlike the team that Now You See Me Now You Don't played. Because that would really suck. The losers. The Broskies, hands down the biggest loser this week. Because they started Peyton Manning and they lost.
Oh.
Here comes the demon. They're now 3 games back because of the tiebreaker, which is just brutal. Brutal shot to the playoff hopes. Sure. And, yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Second biggest loser of the week. I need you to read this one because I can't read it.
Which one?
Who's this one?
The Providence Power.
Providence Power.
Okay, guys, a lot of people started Amar Bradshaw, who didn't even make the trip to the team, including the Power. But to have lost a team that had no quarterback, man, that is embarrassing. Terrell Pryor didn't even play a single snap. Yet Sioux Girls, one cup, was able to defeat Providence, especially at man down. Stick it to them. Out.
Yeah, no. Get away, guys. Get away. So, this is what happens when the wife's gone. Oh, heck breaks loose. So, yeah. Yeah, I lost to a team that didn't have a quarterback. That's pretty bad. And then finally, the Carp Carnival King. You were number 1 last week.
The old Carnies.
The old Carnies, yes. Thanks for the fries, Chris. The old Carnies.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you to do it? Did I tell you?
You told me you could do it. You were number 1 last week. You scored an amazing 18 points.
You would have got the Charles Rogers
ball this
year. I was
year.
going to give it away last week.
Yeah. But now, hey, story.
Watch out, we're on film. Watch out.
We're filming. Yes, this is a lot. Oh, God. Apple time. So, 18 points.
What? Apple time.
18 points. Not a great performance there for Carnival King. Real quick, we're going to look, because now I see madness has ensued. Don't touch anything, boy. I'll beat you. Real quick, going to go over some games next week to look forward to. What?
I can't wait to play this week.
Number 4, the Cougar, the Gambler taking on Cougar Hunters could easily push themselves to number 1. In the Ron Burgundy Conference, not really a lot to be seen there. A lot of 3-1s versus 1-3s, honestly. Maybe 2-2 versus 1-3. The Kirk Lazarus Conference, on the other hand, has a couple more interesting things. Number 1, well, actually, number 5, Derp, who's 3-1. What? Sure. Always send kids to play video games when you want to hear. It works like a champ. 3-1 Derp versus 3-1 Double Blumpkins. That's number 5 versus whoever. That's a huge game. 2-2 KZoo Crazies versus 2-2 Troy Pull It Out on You. That's going to be a big game too. A couple 2-2s. Maybe could find themselves in second place after the week's over. Maybe not. In the Jeff Spicoli Conference, we have one of the biggest games of the week. Possibly the biggest game of the week. Would be number 10 Potterville Pussycats versus number 7 Now You See Me Now You Don't. Those two are at top 1-2 on top of the Jeff Spicoli Conference. Pretty huge matchup there. Also in the Jeff Spicoli Conference, another conference game, 3-1 Show Me Your TDs versus the 2-2 House Choppers. Second place could be up for grabs there. So pretty big game there. Moving on, we have 6 conferences. We've got to go through this quick. Jeff Klobowski Conference doesn't really have much going on this week, to be honest with you. It's a bunch of throwaways. The Brody Bruce Conference, however, does. The number 8 Tallywhackers will be playing the 2-2 Texas Taco Benders, so that could be a pretty big game. And the number 3 New Orleans Rock Chucks will be facing the 2-2 Springfield Isotopes, also a big game. One last game to talk about, which we kind of mentioned before, over in the Derek Zoolander Conference, would be the 3-1 TDs and Beer, aka number 1, facing the 2-2 Somerset Slammers, who are currently in second place of that conference. So a pretty huge game there. First place up for grabs, obviously. Kind of mirroring the situation that the Dublin Drunks / Broskies game was last week. TDs and Beer win. Huge win for them. They lose. Not really the end of the world. Somerset Slammers lose, however. Big blow to them. So Somerset, bring your A game. Someone's got to knock TDs and Beer out. I can't flip anything else over. So, so yeah. Well, you got anything to add there, Pops?
I love my team's chances this week, though.
Who are we playing again this week? You even know?
Yes, I know.
Craig Monahan's Riverside Rage and Rancors, who were...
Does Craig listen to these?
Craig listens to the podcast, yep, he does. Most people, you'd be surprised how many people comment on this podcast, actually.
I love this podcast.
That's why I do it. So, yeah.
I'm bringing a lot of heat to you, and you better put a good lineup in, son, because I'm coming out for you.
He's coming out. You heard it here first. He's
I
coming
want
out.
this win bad. I want to win this game. I've lost 2 in a row. After 2 good starts, I threw a bunch of bums out. You can't win every game.
Now, in fairness, just so you know, okay, the Squadrels here, they have not played a single conference game yet. They were the one team from that conference who did not play conference play. So from here on out, it's a different message. Kind of like what Frazier said. He didn't care about the first 3 games, really. He's using his players to come out in the conference play. And as you saw, 114 points. Dude kind of spoke the truth there. You know? So, yeah. So it should be another great week. Don't forget to go to lineups in on Thursday. Thursday, unfortunately, is the Buffalo and Cleveland game. Probably should cancel cable, I guess, because that game just sounds terrible.
It might be good.
It might be a good game, but I don't know. Cleveland really bothers me.
Well, thanks to Andy, my nephew, I dropped $100 on Cincinnati over Cleveland. At the last minute, I found out key players was out for Cincinnati. I called Andy. Hey, man, he wouldn't answer his phone. I wanted to switch my $100 to Kansas City. He never took my phone.
Never took the phone call. So I go to show you to answer your phone calls.
Just never gamble, please.
Yeah, never gamble.
You end up like Andy T, my nephew.
Try not to have 40 kids like I have running around here. But yeah, we're going to take
you could end up like Charles Rogers.
Or you could end up like Charles Rogers and have a lot more
43
than 40
kids running around Saginaw.
So yeah, hopefully that background noise isn't too severe. But you guys have a good week, and thanks for joining us. Dad, thanks for filling in. Richard, I'm going to cut you out of the Commissioner's Corner. I'm going to switch the spelling from the S apostrophe to the R apostrophe S.
Still love you, Richard.
If you don't show up next week. Yes. Have a good one.
Bye now.